For decades, the Admiral Kuznetsov has been the centerpiece of Russia's naval image, a floating reminder of Soviet-era ambitions and the country's desire to stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's great maritime powers. Commissioned in 1991 just as the Soviet Union collapsed, the carrier was intended to give Moscow global reach through naval aviation. Its ski-jump deck and complement of Su-33 and later MiG-29K fighters symbolized Russia's ability to project force well beyond its coastal waters. Yet its troubled history has often overshadowed its purpose. Now, as speculation mounts that the Kuznetsov may never return to active service after years of mishaps and stalled repairs, Russia faces a pivotal question. Can it remain a naval superpower without its only aircraft carrier? A ship defined by struggles. The story of the Admiral Kuznetsov is one of ambition undercut by persistent problems. Its engines, based on aging boiler technology, earned the ship a reputation for belching black smoke, a recurring symbol of its flaws. During its most notable deployment in 2016 to support Russia's intervention in Syria, the carrier lost 2 jets to arrestor cable failures, highlighting its operational weaknesses. Worse still, its modernization program has been plagued by disasters. In 2018, a floating dry dock accident caused a crane to crash onto the deck, and in 2019, a fire claimed lives and inflicted serious damage. Each setback extended its repair timeline and increased costs, raising doubts about whether the ship could ever return to reliable service. Despite these flaws, Kuznetsov held symbolic weight. It was Russia's only ship that could truly compare, even superficially, to the US and Chinese carriers. For Moscow, keeping Kuznetsov afloat was about prestige as much as capability, a way to maintain the image of great power status and a reminder of Soviet blue water aspirations. Russia's strength lies elsewhere. Yet defining Russia's naval power by Kuznetsov alone misses the larger picture. Unlike the United States, which bases its global dominance on carrier strike groups, Russia has relied on other pillars of maritime strength. Submarines remain the crown jewel of the Russian Navy. The Boryai-class ballistic missile submarines form the core of its nuclear deterrent at sea, while the advanced Yazan-class nuclear-powered attack submarines provide stealth and precision strike capabilities unmatched by many navies. These vessels give Russia the ability to threaten adversaries thousands of miles from its shores, regardless of whether an aircraft carrier sails. In addition, Russia has invested heavily in long-range missile systems that challenge traditional carrier dominance. The Zircon hypersonic cruise missile, capable of traveling at speeds up to Mach 9, represents a significant leap in naval strike technology. Along with Caliber cruise missiles and other precision weapons, these systems allow Russian surface ships and submarines to hold enemy fleets at risk without engaging in traditional carrier-based warfare. For Moscow, this asymmetric approach is both more affordable and strategically aligned with its geography and security priorities. The symbolic cost of losing Kuznetsov. Still, the loss of Admiral Kuznetsov would carry undeniable symbolic consequences. Aircraft carriers are not just military tools, they are floating symbols of prestige and global presence. The United States, with its fleet of 11 nuclear-powered carriers, projects unmatched maritime dominance. China, racing ahead with 3 carriers and plans for more, is using them as a statement of its great power rise. Even Britain, with its 2 modern Queen Elizabeth-class carriers, enjoys more carrier credibility than Russia. Without Kuznetsov, Russia would stand out as a major power without a single carrier, diminishing its ability to showcase naval strength abroad. Carriers play a vital role in diplomacy, allowing states to show the flag in foreign ports, reassure allies and intimidate rivals. Submarines and missile cruisers, while formidable, cannot provide the same visible demonstration of presence. For a country like Russia, which has long tied its image to great power competition, this perception gap could prove significant. Naval warfare in transition. At the same time, the very relevance of carriers is increasingly debated. In an era of hypersonic weapons, advanced submarines and unmanned systems, large carriers are becoming more vulnerable and more expensive to protect. Russia's shift toward missile and submarine dominance reflects this changing reality. Instead of trying to match the US or China ship for ship, Moscow is betting on technologies that exploit carrier weaknesses. This approach is visible in Russia's regional strategies. In the Arctic, it has fortified bases and expanded its fleet of icebreakers to secure new shipping lanes and natural resources. In the Black Sea, small but heavily armed corvettes and submarines dominate local waters with Caliber missiles. In the Pacific, its submarine fleet provides a strategic counterbalance to US and Japanese forces. These strategies show that Russia can achieve influence without relying on a carrier fleet. What comes after Kuznetsov? The retirement of Kuznetsov raises the question of replacement. For years, Russian shipyards and officials have floated grand designs for future carriers, such as the nuclear-powered Project 23,000E Storm. Envisioned as a massive, modern ship capable of carrying up to 90 aircraft, it was meant to rival the American Nimitz and Ford-class carriers. But the costs, running into tens of billions of dollars, make it highly unrealistic in Russia's current economic and political climate, particularly under the strain of Western sanctions. Instead, Russia may turn to more pragmatic options. These could include smaller carriers, amphibious assault ships capable of operating drones and helicopters, or new platforms focused on unmanned aviation. Such ships would not replace the prestige of a supercarrier, but they could provide flexible capabilities in regional operations at a fraction of the cost. A redefinition of naval power. So, can Russia remain a naval superpower without Admiral Kuznetsov? If naval power is defined by prestige, carrier diplomacy, and the ability to project global influence, then Moscow's status will inevitably appear diminished compared to Washington and Beijing. But if power is measured by deterrence, regional dominance, and the ability to impose costs on adversaries, then Russia's submarine fleet, missile systems, and strategic geography ensure that it remains a major naval force. The retirement of Admiral Kuznetsov, if confirmed, would close a chapter in Russian naval history. But it would not mark the end of Russian maritime power. Instead, it would symbolize a shift from the Soviet dream of blue water carrier competition to a 21st-century Russian Navy defined by asymmetric strength, lethal precision, and regional dominance.